Next up, we have Breathing from the Inside soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happening here, musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, become a member, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Support the channel in all the ways you want. And, of course, 2 disclaimers. Number 1, this is my first time hearing this track ever, so I will be pausing a lot, as I will be pointing things out as I hear them and as I realize them. And number 2, this is recorded live on stream on a single take. So, I might stumble upon my words. Whatever happens, happens. So, with that being said, let's do this. Breathing. Let's go. Okay, so we start with a prepared piano. And then we move to a sound of splashing, and we start with an ambiance synth. So what is prepared piano? I was, sorry, I just read that message. I was dreading this day. So, prepared piano is a concept in atonal music, prepared instruments. So, when it comes to atonal music is a type of music that came out during the 20th century. There are many schools of it. Atonal music basically means that there is no tonal center. It's supposed to sound chaotic. It's supposed to sound disturbing, that kind of thing, because there is no center. Because in everything that you probably listen to throughout your life, it's tonal music. You can refer back to a key signature, to a chord, to a melody. Atonal music doesn't have that. And there were a few schools, but there were 3 major schools of atonal music. One led by John Cage, one led by Arnold Schoenberg, and one led by, his name escapes me. We had him, and we had the school of Penderecki. So, John Cage is the one who started with prepared instruments. Arnold Schoenberg had the 12-tone idea, and then Penderecki had the idea of aleatoric music. So I'm not going to get into these 2 because they're not the ones. So John Cage is the one who started with this. You might have seen memes about this track. That was my computer. So it is 4:33 by John Cage, which, if you... El Jaulas, indeed. So if you've never heard of this, that's the point. Because 4:33 by John Cage is a piece in which the pianist closes the lid and sits there for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. Unironically, that's the piece. However, there is one more that is even more atrocious, or in my opinion, which is called Water Walk. If you ever want to see how atonal music truly can go, Water Walk is your way, and Water Walk contains what is called a prepared piano. So a prepared instrument is something, as the name suggests, that you prepare in advance. It's a way of playing instruments in a way that is not conventional. In the case of John Cage, the person who did the start of this one probably had a piano, opened the lid, and then strum, instead of playing the keys in the piano, most likely grabbed something like a guitar pick and played the string that way. Because, the strings are like little coils, so when you slide a guitar pick through it, you're going to get the sound that you just got over there. So, yes, it is the metal creaking SFX. Yeah, and that was most likely done with a prepared piano. So let's see where this goes. And now we go back to tonal music because of the of the synth. We have the water sounds. So yes, we're having these chords being held together, having usually one note staying while the other ones come fade in and out kind of thing. It's a pretty nice effect that we are getting with this. And what we are doing technically with this then becomes voice leading in order to achieve this effect. Because in order to achieve this effect of always having one note remaining the same and everything else changing around it, then you need voice leading. So voice leading is a way of moving around chords, and it is a way of moving around chords with efficiently. So how does this work? Let's say we have our scale. Let's say we're on the key of C. C major is one of the scales, 7 notes: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C is the octave. So when it comes to chords, you're going to make a combination of 3 notes, usually skipping every other note, and then you get 3 chords for a triad, or 3 notes for a triad, and you get a chord. So in this case, C, we skip D, E, we skip F, G, C, E, G, and we have our C major chord. That is one of our chords that we have. And then we can go for a different chord. Let's say we want to go from C to A. So if C repeats over here, that means that the scale just repeats again. So for A, we try the same principle. So A, we skip B, we get C, we skip D, we get E. So from C to A, now we have A, C, and E. And now we have our chord progression. So for this chord progression, we have C, E, G to A, C, and E. We have 2 notes that are common here. Don't chords go up to 7 semitones, either 4 or 3 semitones, depending on major or minor? Don't the actual notes in the chord not have to fit the scale other than the root? They don't have to fit the scale, but if you want to stay in the key signature, this is how you do it. Like what you're talking about is chromaticism for chords, and that's a more advanced term right here. And now I'm talking about basic chord structures within your scale. So the point here is that we have common denominators. We have C and E as the notes in both of them. And as you can see, G and A are right next to each other on this scale. So if we put this vertically, so we bring in C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. Let's say we put them vertically going downwards because that's how I did it just now. So now we're going to have a chord. We're going to have our chord with C and E, and it's going to stay consistent. So the first half, we just need to have G to get our C chord, and then instead of having to just change everything to make a different chord, we just go down to A, and now we are in our A chord. This over here is voice leading. When you change chords very smoothly this way. So you achieve this, you extrapolate this idea, and you keep the middle note consistent throughout this whole time, and you get this chord progression with voice leading. And that's how you get to keep that one note consistent while all the other notes around it change. We're going back and forth between different chords. In this case, we're just doing a bunch of stuff, but we're always having that one note that manages to stay consistent, which is our common tone. So yes, nice visuals. Thank you. I drew them myself. All right, let's see where this goes. And of course, we have the sounds of water. And another thing, isn't that a pedal tone too? Yes, and effectively that becomes a pedal tone. That's a good observation. So a pedal tone or / pedal note, these are interchangeable. is that when you have one note being held for a long time. That's it. And this note here being held becomes a pedal tone. Thank you for pointing out. So, let's see. Valid user, welcome today. How you doing? So we now repeat this. We bring the sounds of water a little bit more. But we are having these tones. Just... Yes, I updated the points, valid user. I'll explain afterwards. And yes, as you can hear, this is very ambiance. We are repeating a very slow chord progression. This is very, very slow, very elongated, and it is simply done for ambiance, which usually as a composition by itself, this would be boring. However, in video game music, once you apply function to this, because over here, what is happening in breathing? This is an underwater section, so having too much going on in an underwater section, this is one of the mistakes that Nintendo did originally in Super Mario Brothers. One of the reasons why the underwater sections don't quite work as well is because of the music. The music is way too active for being underwater, because turns out underwater there's a lot of pressure by the water. You can't breathe. Everything is slower. Water Thunder, welcome today. How you doing? And you have all this kind of stuff going on. But when you do this, you achieve this. So what is this music doing right now in the game? It is doing something called underscoring. Or an underscore. So underscore is a term that was first done in film. And it is basically music for film, or in this case video games, to accentuate what is happening on screen. It is, in this case, done to reflect the fact that you are underwater, you are holding your breath, you're trying to find spots where you can breathe, and you are just trying to make it through, kind of thing. So everything else slows down, because we as human beings, with the bodies that we have, we slow down a lot in water. So an underscore is what that is. By the way, the alternative to underscore is source music. Source music just means, hey, Dachi. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Mosh Pit. Welcome today. So, source music as opposed to underscore, because underscore is something that the character cannot hear. Source music is. That is the big difference. Those are the two big the two big umbrellas from which music falls into when it comes to scoring. So, the kid is drowning. Okay, so in this one, the kid is drowning. Even worse. Okay, so there you go. Games like Subnautica handle ambience the best. I really recommend listening to it. We haven't listened to any of the Subnautica ones, but I have played it. But yeah, let's see. And we are having the synth that is giving us these chords slowly get clearer and clearer. And you can feel how each iteration, each repetition comes in like a fresh wave. Oh yeah, there you go. That's the sound of drowning right there. So we are getting each repetition. So this whole thing is a couple of... he also gained the ability to breathe underwater after drowning. Yeah, so... Inside is quite the adventure, right? So when it comes to this, each repetition of this, because what we're doing is straight up repetition. We have the same chords being played over and over and over, but the difference is each time the chords repeat, each time we start the loop over, it gets a little bit stronger. The sound of water gets stronger, the sound of drowning gets stronger, the synths themselves get stronger, the sound gets stronger each time that this has been happening. Let's see if it changes at all, or if we're just getting a full set of 4 minutes of the same chords. Let's see how this goes. Konfa, welcome to today. How you doing? So yes, you can hear the sound of water is a bit more intense now. And I like how the synth sounds kind of between a trombone and a French horn. Maybe a euphonium? Like it sounds a couple of like it sounds like a middle ground between those. It's the sound of brass, which brass instruments for something like this is an interesting choice. So having these samples do this is pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting because usually you're not going to hear brass this low. And yeah, I'm doing fantastic. Let's see where this goes. Oh, thank you. I was about to answer, but yeah. And those pedal tones still stay there. We got a new repetition. Welcome back, Cecilia. Making ramen? Nice, what kind? So now the sound of water. It's incredible how for something as minimalistic as this, as minimalist as this, is driving so much. Because now just the change of water going from wave after wave to continuous flow of water can make this much of a difference. Even though we are still employing the exact same 4 chords, 4 or 5 chords that we were doing. Like we were just doing what kind, what flavors, what you put on your ramen. Like it's not just the noodles, right? So, you know, we're still having the like different chords being played with just the common tone around it. And we are getting all of this stuff with the common tone. But in the background, we are getting the extra sound of water. And it is getting more and more prevalent. And in this case, water is kind of playing the role of a percussion, giving us a very strange sense of rhythm. Spicy beef, nice. So, yeah. Oh, the roulette might have not saved. I'm gonna check that afterwards. Remind me, melody user. Check after. And now we are getting the sounds of... So in this case, that sound right there could be one of those instruments that are 250. Okay, so it didn't save because it's supposed to be 25. It's the sound kind of like a sinking ship. And the way you achieve this is by grabbing a mallet and dragging it through a specific piece of metal. I don't remember which one it was, but basically you just drag, like you grab a mallet and you make sure that the head of the mallet just drags through, and you get that kind of sound. I think it's the gong. I think you can achieve this with a gong, that kind of sound. Most cymbals, you will be able to achieve this sound by grabbing like a marimba mallet and just put it like that. So it's a very good thing. And then we have sounds of, I think this is, because the thing is, when it comes to Foley, because these are sounds made out of Foley, and Foley, let me just go up here, Foley is the art of sound design for every sound that we hear. So if you watch a film and you see, and it's a very high quality film, like we're talking, let's say, something that requires a lot of green screen, let's say Star Wars. You watch Star Wars and you see the characters walking. You need to record the sound of the shoes hitting the floor, of the pants rustling with the legs, of the equipment, the specific equipment bouncing on the person. You need every single sound, down to the person's breathing, recorded. And you can't just do that with normal equipment, especially if you're using things like fictional weapons and things like that. You have to figure out the sound design, and you do that via Foley. And Foley artists very often use instruments for this kind of thing. And when it comes to things like this, for example, the sound of a sinking ship, of the just gigantic metal rustling and struggling, how do you achieve that in a studio, in a 20 square foot studio? You can't sink a ship to record it underwater. So how do you achieve that? You have to figure out alternatives on how to do that. There was this guy, he makes short clips on Instagram and TikTok and all that. He does incredible Foley with that kind of stuff, and he shows how you can just use instruments to achieve this kind of sound. Like a lot of the times, many things, for example, the sound of like certain foods can be achieved with a rubber glove by twisting it in a certain way. Certain sounds, like the sound of chopping, you can achieve by grabbing a wooden mallet with a stick, putting some cloth on top, and then mashing it in a certain angle. So when it comes to Foley, you can get really, really creative to get any sounds that you want. Like, imagine an animated series, like an anime, the sounds of a kitchen. Yes, some of the sounds like the stove turning on, that kind of thing, you can get that with a regular microphone. But are you really going to put a microphone next to a live flame and put it next to a bunch of burning oil? Are you really going to put your like $10,000 microphone next to that? No. You're going to go into the studio and you're going to go figure out an alternative that doesn't fry your microphone along with the pork. And mics are expensive. Like, these types of mics are extremely expensive. So you want to have this kind of stuff. And like horror sounds, the violins, stick on a metal pipe. And when it comes to horror, there is this one instrument. I think it's the waterphone. I think it's, yes, the waterphone. So this instrument right here is a waterphone. This one is one you can use for most of these sounds. This one you can get the sound of a sinking ship from. And how do you do this? You flip it upside down because the bottom is made out of metal, and you rub a mallet on it, and you get the sound of that metal that we had. Don't request songs just yet, by the way. We're not taking requests right now. So yeah, that's how. So here's another. Here's how you do it, right? Like, you put a mallet like this, like rubber or nylon or something like that, cloth, and you just rub it on the bottom of this waterphone, and that's it. That's it. I can't believe I actually remembered the sound of this thing. So you can get a lot of incredible Foley for horror just using this. This could have been, like, the initial sound that we heard that I thought was a prepared piano could have been a prepared piano and a waterphone. So, yeah, this is the actual name. This is the actual name for the instrument, the waterphone. Primarily because it sounds, the way that you move this instrument sounds like it has water in it. So, yes, requests are not open right now. They're not open. So don't waste your points. So, yes, there you go. So it's the waterphone, the opposite of the iPhone. There you go. All right, so let's see where this goes. That was a long explanation. Yeah, that's so definitely a waterphone or a gong. One of the two. Same techniques. And yeah, we're getting more, like, each repetition is getting more and more intense. It's not valid user. So yeah, it's just building up and building up. This is likely going to loop. So let's see how you get out of this. Oh, that was a sound kind of like a creature. Ooh, and I like that along with the sound of the Foley, the waterphone, or whatever this is. You also have the other synths coming in. Like that, it's hitting now, it's synchronized with when the synths hit to give that sense of waviness, a sense of breathing. And it's clever, because now you're doing a doubling. So a doubling is when you have more than one instrument playing the same thing. And the idea that you're using tonal and atonal, because a waterphone is many things. Tonal instrument is not one of them. Waterphone is an instrument designed for atonal things. So having this be a not only very minimalist, but a very nice combination between tonal and atonal music is insane. It's very, very cool to see atonal music used very, very well, because this This is a good use for atonal music. Let's see where this goes, because we're almost done. Let's see. Yep, we bring back the water. And now we're in full force for what could be the final repetition. Let's see. Where's the climax? Well, we had the climax. And yeah, it just bleeds out. And then there's the track. Man, that was a lot more fascinating than I thought it would be, considering the fact that this was extremely minimalist. Like, this had, what, maybe 7 layers of audio to it? That was really good. That was really good. There you go. That was Breathing from the Inside soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. Not a fade out, a bleed out. Bleed out just means that you're letting the note ring until it ends. Like, energy dissipates. So there, you go. I should mention the composer in the description. Martin Stig Andersen and Søs Gunver Reiberg. Yeah, I usually don't mention the composers because most of these don't have them written down. But there you go. So yes, if you're watching this on the YouTube archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, become a member, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Support this channel as much as you want. And of course, if you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3 seconds, I will be linking it down below. If you want to request a song, if you're on the live stream, do not request yet. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, go to the Discord server, link down below. Go to the LFA requests channel and follow the instructions there. And if you want to catch these streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. If you want to know what time that is for you, Discord and Twitch are linked in the description with the stream schedule showing in your local time zone so that you don't have to bother with calculations. And follow the gaming channel. We have a gaming channel where I put the VODs of the after shows that we do. Games are Basterd, link down below, or search for the username. It's the same username as James R. Basterd, just swap the J for a G and you got it. And yeah, there you go. There you go. That was Breathing from the Inside soundtrack. That was fascinating, man. That was fascinating. But yeah.